Hi everyone, it's Ayya Vimala here in Crystal Lake in Illinois, not too far from the Blue Lotus Temple. And I'm looking out over a beautiful day. And we've gotten a little colder, so I think we're having more migrating birds who might be getting ready to fly on further south. A lot of sandhill cranes in the area. And I've been able to go with my good friend Marty Gorman and just be at the pond. It's a very small pond near her home, and watch the birds coming in at night to roost. There are cornfields around the area, so they're on their journey back south. They'll probably be stopping pretty soon. Once they take off, she's watching the pond. Any day they could be taking off because our weather's getting cooler again. We had an unusually warm spell for about 7 days. And now it's cooling off again, so we're thinking that all those beautiful sandhill cranes and the geese, and there were mallards, there were over 200 birds in this little, very small pond. Just the most beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing since I was watching birds when I was in Florida last winter with my good friend Susan Nash there. And I think now I know where a lot of these sandhill cranes may be going from here as they go south. And a lot of the littler birds, I think, have already started their trip. So this is one of the joys for me of just being able to see and pay more attention to this wide world out beyond this human world. I did want to share that Patty's mom, Laverne, did pass, and it was a very calm and peaceful passage. And Patty is a volunteer for hospice, so she was able, although she couldn't be with her mom, Sunday was the last time she was able to be with her. Hospice was able to help her and make everything go so beautifully. Her mom didn't respond to the treatment that she had every chance to. She was given the best drugs and the things that they know are helping people these days, and then on Tuesday they knew she was not going to make it. So she was able to listen to music, her favorite music, the night before, and went to bed. The nurse told Patty that her mom was moving her finger and tapping her finger they really feel she was able to listen to the music. We know how wonderful that is, how soothing music can be. And her mom had a beautiful long life and a beautiful family. So she was 97, but she also had, because of that beautiful life, she had such beautiful relationships with her family that it doesn't make it any easier. But it makes it more in tune with nature, being able to know that she had such a full life and such a peaceful death. And we're still thinking of her, and it's still, when we practice metta around someone's death or their birth, the metta practice is especially valuable. And we can keep thinking of Laverne in our metta practice, because that metta practice is that energy we're putting out into the world, and it can be so calming to someone who's moving into a different part of the journey. And that's one of the uses for it, just to help someone on their way in and on their way out to something else. So I wanted to share these. There are in Buddhist practice the 5 contemplations, and I was listening to one of the talks for my Satipatthana course that I'm taking, and the section that I was listening to is on the contemplation of death. And there was someone was presenting these 5 contemplations in a format written by Carolyn Jones in a book in a book of hers, and I thought it was so beautiful. And this is a practice that all Buddhists are encouraged to. These are reflections that we should all be aware of and always call on them. Could be part of your morning practice. It could be part of your daily practice. Could be something that you memorize and then come back to whenever it feels right for you. And I love the way this is worded. It's really gentle. So, and the teacher for one of the talks shared it, and I'd like to share it with you. I lovingly remember that this body is vulnerable to aging. I lovingly remember that this body is vulnerable to sickness. I lovingly remember that this body will die. I lovingly remember that loss is part of life. I lovingly remember to meet this moment gently. I think it's just so beautiful for me, with Patty allowing me. She kept in such good touch with me through this process and allowed me to see the gentleness of her mom's passing, even in this really difficult time. And even though I know Patty would have wanted to be right there with her mother if she could have been, but I was very touched hearing these 5 contemplations yesterday, and wanted to share it with all of you, including Patty. And I think this is one of the reasons that this pandemic is such a powerful teacher for us, because we are seeing loss, and we're seeing illness that's, people who are even recovering, or it's taking such a long time, and it's a rough recovery. And now we're hearing here in Illinois, we are needing to be back isolating ourselves as much as possible. And so I think the pandemic is our teacher. It's a wake-up call for us. And so I think if we can practice these 5 contemplations, it's not depressing, it's not maudlin, it's not negative. This is the nature of reality for all living things. And this is something that we can become more in touch with, just our human, literally our human nature, and all of the creatures, all living things. This is part of our normal, natural reality, and it can ease us. It can give us, I think these 5 contemplations can allow us to be more, sharpens our awareness of the preciousness of our lives, not of the anything negative, but of the preciousness and the beauty of this whole thing we call life and nature and reality, and embrace it. Embrace it and reach out. And the way we do that mentally is to keep opening our hearts. That bodhicitta, that's our intelligence and our compassion, just opening up. And so what a wonderful opportunity that we can have, and to just expand our practice and to see our connection with all other living beings. And it's just beautiful. It is sometimes sad, it is sometimes joyous, sometimes both at the same time. And that's how we can look at this wonderful thing that we're traveling together in, is this lifetime. So why don't we sit and practice metta together? And be aware. I hope your day is as beautiful as ours is looking, or if it's evening time for you, or that your evening is as lovely as ours. We've had this beautiful warm weather, but somehow the cooler weather this time of year, it's welcome. It's appropriate. It was getting a little bit nerve-wracking having 7 whole days of it being unusually warm. So now the chill is back in the air. So let's sit together and let's practice loving kindness and gratitude, and let those two qualities just be, put them in a package together. There's so much to be grateful for as we send metta, and we include Patty and her family and Laverne and everyone else suffering from any kind of sickness or disease or ill health, or if you're suffering from fear and worry and anxiety. Think of yourself and think of your loved ones. So be in your comfortable posture. Comfortable because you know that's your lovely spine is supporting you, and your lungs are able to take a full breath of air, and we're just observing our body breathing. And it will take in that full package of oxygen if we just allow it to. We don't have to force it or do it consciously. We can just be aware of our body. This is how we can stay in our body, watching our breath. All of our practice is rooted in this body. We don't need to float away somewhere else. We can stay grounded and present in the body. If you feel that you're not grounded, be sure you have your feet on the ground, or you might want to be on your back. Feel your connection with the earth. Even if it's the floor of an apartment 10 stories or 20 stories up in the air. Feel the ground beneath you as you touch the floor. May I be well, filled with well-being. Even if my body is sick, even if I'm worried, there can be a core of well-being within me. And that well-being is based on lovingly remembering the nature of this body. Lovingly remembering our own impermanence in this form, in this world. So may I be filled with well-being. May I feel safe in this world right now. May I be content, and may I be at peace with the moment, with the time we live in, with all of the causes and conditions working themselves out. May I be at peace with that, whatever it may be in my life. Now move out. Just allow yourself to open up that compassionate, grateful heart and mind, and think of your loved ones. Your close friends, your noble friends, your family. We can all feel connected again to Patty and her mom, Laverne, and their family. May all of our loved ones be well and be filled with that sense of well-being. May they be free from fear and worry and anxiety. Filled with gratitude. Gratitude for their lives, for the well-lived lives of loved ones, for all of those like Laverne moving on. May all of these beings moving on be filled with peace and calmness, and be able to see clearly the path in front of them. May all of our loved ones be able to feel joy and gratitude and peace of mind. And may they be able to dwell in peace. Now allow yourself to move beyond the comfort of your loved ones. Think of the neutral strangers in your life, the people you really don't know, but you see. Make some of these strangers become real in your perceptions. Recognize their lives are just like yours and mine. Their concerns are just as real to them as ours are to us. Let them come to life in your imagination. And send them the same loving kindness and the goodwill that you've sent to yourself and to your loved ones. May all of my strangers be filled with well-being and feel safe in this world, even at this time of the increasing dangers of the pandemic. May my strangers all be able to experience joy in small things, in the small gifts of the day, and gratitude Gratitude for those small things, gratitude for the big things. Gratitude even for the lessons that we're having to open up to and learn as we deal with the continuation of such a difficult time in our society. This is a wonderful opportunity for all of us, including our strangers, to embrace this open kind of rawness that we experience. Embrace it all. And may we all offer to our strangers, our neutral people, the people we see but really don't know, may they live in peace, even in this difficult time, and may they dwell in their hearts in peace. And now let's just allow these feelings of metta, of goodwill, wishing the best for others. May this quality of caring and compassion just expand out from us, radiate out in all directions in a boundless way. May this quality radiate out into space, covering our entire world and our universe. May all beings, human beings and non-human beings, all creatures, all beings invisible to us, may all living beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all living beings be free from fear and worry and anxiety, and free from hunger and thirst and the extremes of the weather. May all beings be able to care for themselves and their loved ones. And may those who are unable to care for themselves be cared for lovingly and willingly. And may all loving beings, human and non-human, be able to live in peace. And as usual, if you have time, if you can, sit and just observe your body breathing. Be with the quiet. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for being such an important part of my practice. Have a beautiful day. Keep sitting. If you don't have time now, try to make more time today just to give yourself that extra boost, because the news out beyond us, the news in the state for sure, and in several of our Midwestern states is not great, just because we're facing a return of the pandemic, and we're not being forced to, but we're being asked to take very good care of ourselves, and that's how we can best take care of others. So don't be dismayed by the news, but just let it allow you to be more aware of not only yourself but of others. It's an exercise for us to practice compassion, because we need to take care of ourselves and others, and do everything you can to just embrace that as part of our world right now, part of reality. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here for me. See you tomorrow morning.